Hi there, everybody out there. This is Scott Dorsey, zooming in you live at Noise 11 with my very, very close friend, Paul Cashmere. The purpose of me being here today is to introduce Paul to my fabulous brother, Bradley, who's just released his first single and has an album coming out. And Paul has very kindly agreed to do this interview. And I just wanted to let Brad know how close a friend Paul is to the family, and whatever you tell Paul, just be very careful because he might tell Dad. I'm just kidding. No, but he's a lovely man, a very dear friend of both mine and Dad's, and with his beautiful wife, who's no longer with us, who's up in heaven with Mum. We spent many a great evening backstage at many a venue with Dad, and he's part of the family over here, and is definitely considered one of the sort of gurus of the entertainment industry as far as reporting goes, and certainly got his finger on the pulse. Yeah, Brad, say hello to Paul. Paul, say hello to Brad.
Hey, Paul.
It's a pleasure to see you face to face, Brad, after talking to this man in front of us, Scott, for many, many decades, and seeing your father, Engelbert Humperdinck, down in Australia on regular occasions. We finally get to meet another part of the family. So welcome to Noise.
I'm really happy to be here. Thank you, Paul.
I'm pretty excited too, Brad, that there is the debut album coming out, I've Got Dreams. It's not often I get to talk to a 50-year-old man about his debut album. 50-year-olds are having the 30th anniversary of their debut album. So well done getting to this benchmark.
You know, it's taken a long time, but I feel it's the right time. The music myself has it's developed, and I feel that I own my style and what I've really wanted to achieve. And you know, life. I took other journeys and jobs in the past, and did very well at those. But really, I've always wanted to be an entertainer and a singer, and I felt that, you know, it's very important to really pursue something all the way, so not to regret not doing so. So I've it's my 50th year on this planet, and my first debut.
Well, we did have a preview of if you were going to be a recording artist 10 years ago with the Engelbert Calling album, where you actually do a duet with your father.
Yeah, I loved that. That was a fantastic experience. You know, and I really, to be honest, I wanted to be on that album so badly, and I had to figure out what song to do, and what better song to do was Father and Son. So I recorded it, sneak quietly, and then I sent it to my brother, and he put it through to the producer, and then the producer heard it and called up my dad and said, "You know, your son's going to be on the album." And he's like, "What?" And that's how I got on it.
And a great version too.
You know, it was such a fun version to sing with him because it was all so natural. You know, every part of that song was so real, and there was no making it up. It is what it was, and it was a beautiful moment, and I loved having that moment with Dad too, which was you know, a bucket list tick, you know.
Well, and there's another connection too, because your father, Engelbert Humperdinck, was also a very good friend, or is a very good friend, with Cat Stevens. And he once told me the story about how he loaned Cat some money in the early days, a check. That check he never cashed. And that check still sits at home up on his
bar, above his bar. Yeah, it was for £5. Yeah, yeah, he said, "I know that guy's going to be someone big." Apparently, that's what he said back in the day, and that's what happened.
Your father also had Jimi Hendrix play with him at one point in the past, and on this album, you've done this amazing version of the Beatles Come Together with Taj Farrant. It's almost like the Engelbert Jimmy thing and the Bradley Taj thing. It's running parallel.
It really does feel like that, and I was so thrilled when Scott said that, you know, Taj is interested in putting his flavor to Come Together, because it Come Together itself was it's such a great song and a feel good song, and it wasn't quite kicking enough for my liking. And then so when he said, well, would you like Taj to maybe put his flair to it, and I was like, yes. I mean, the guy is an incredible young guitar player. I mean, he's played with some of the biggest legends already, and it's just he put that together for me. Put it together.
It came together.
Yeah, no, it's phenomenal. He did a great job, and I'm so incredibly proud to have him on my album. And he did a smashing job.
It's an absolute dynamic way to open this album. The album has 13 tracks on there, covers, but a lot of the songs that you're doing here have a deeper background. I'm jumping ahead here to track 9, which is This and That, a Tom Jones song, but it was written by your father.
Yeah, when he was Arnold. He was just Arnold Dorsey. And I loved it from the first time I heard it. And Tom did such a cracking job of it. And I just felt it was very important for me to honor my dad's writing and his song from before he was even Jerry Dorsey, before he was even Jerry Dorsey. So it was a gift for me to do, for me a gift, but also I wanted to honor my dad by recording that song, and see if I could measure up to Mr. Jones.
Well, you honor your father in a very nice way. Track 11, you and he performed together on this, the classic Engelbert Humperdinck song, Release Me.
I had an opportunity to do something a little different with the song. Tony, my producer, my brother-in-law, is a real Nashville guy, and he heard something completely different than what I was really wanting to do with the song, and he brought a real good country vibe to it, which is no one's ever heard this song played like this. And I had the privilege of getting my niece and my sister, as well as my father, to sing with me on this song. And it came out, it's just a fun rendition. And I'm really excited for the fans to hear the Humperdinck family do a spin on that song. And I love it. And Dad was really fun, and he enjoyed being a part of it. And of course, my sister and my niece is a beautiful singer, and so we paid tribute to the song that actually landed him in his lifetime career.
There's a third Engelbert thread to the album, A Good Thing Going On. Now, this is a song that he wrote. I'm not that familiar with this song. What was the background of that song? Where did it land in the Engelbert days?
This was, I believe it was Jerry. He was still Jerry Dorsey at the time, I believe. And to be honest with you, I was going through the radio and checking out recordings that he'd written and sung on in his early days. And I came across this song. I hadn't heard it before until about 2 months before I recorded it. And when I heard it, I was so excited about just the energy of it. And it's a good fun, a good time song. And I was like, I've got to do this song and make it my own. And I played it for him, and he was really thrilled of how I came out. He says, "Yeah, you got my tones though, son," which I was really excited about too.
When I go back to the remainder of the songs that are on the album now, it looks like a playlist that I would put together of songs that I would have played. In fact, every single song on this album that we're going to talk about next, I have played it sometime on the radio during my career when I was on the radio. Kiss and Say Goodbye, the Manhattans, a beautiful soul song from the 70s. And I believe that was referred to as the sound of Philadelphia back then.
Back then, yes. Yeah. And it's funny, I was just talking to a producer not long ago, and he said, anyone who can do a Manhattan song, I tip my hat to. And he said, you did a great job on this song. And it's another soulful, heart-wrenching song, which it immediately catches your ear. It's like a Ray Charles song. What was the one of the big Ray Charles hits?
What'd I say? Or
yeah,
Georgia on My Mind, or yeah.
All of those songs. It just has that bleedingness to it, which just makes you, fall in love with it. And I think it's one of those songs like you could be from anywhere in the world and understand the emotion and the voice without knowing the actual lyric itself.
Mm.
So I've always loved that song. It was funny. The hardest part of this album was choosing the songs, but I went through all my books, and I was looking at my set lists that I've always envisioned having, and these songs always appeared throughout the years of me, doing my little bits and bobs. They always came together, and so I just picked it from all my different set lists over the time, and this is how I came up with this lineup of songs.
It's interesting having the Elvis Presley song that you've chosen for this album, That's All Right Mama, because not only is that on your debut album, that was also the debut single for Elvis.
I know, and funny, I actually didn't know that until not too long ago. I was watching an Elvis documentary, and it's kind of like it's supposed to be, and I feel like I did him justice on that song, and I'm really excited about all of the songs and how they're going to represent my future in the business, and it's this album, I believe, is really stamped a style, my style, and it came together effortlessly on the very first song when we started doing Come Together, and I was playing with these Nashville guys. The band was unbelievable. I mean, they heard the songs once, and they play music off of numbered charts, and they just look at this page of numbers, and they go, "Okay, man," and they go in and they play it like you've never heard, and it's just. I just turned to Tony, the producer. I go, "This is my sound. We've found my sound finally. 50 years."
And fun fact, Elvis's Sideburns are actually a cover version of the original Sideburns, Engelbert Sideburns.
Correct.
That's true, isn't it? That Elvis saw Engelbert's Sideburns and decided to grow his own.
Well, apparently he actually said, "Hey, if they look good on you, they'll look good on me, kid." I think his lip was going too at that moment.
Yeah. There's another great song on here, If You Don't Know Me By Now. Now, some of the people watching this interview are going to go, "Oh, the Simply Red song." And some of the people watching this interview are going to go, "Oh, the Harold Melvin song." And they'll be both right.
Yes. And I actually first heard it, obviously, because of being in a musical family, with Harold Melvin's version first. But when Simply Red did theirs it was like 88 or something like that, it was a long time ago, it just blew me away. And it was one of those songs, as soon as you hear it, it sticks in your soul. And I wanted to do it. And I think it's pretty cool. And it's very different to the other versions.
Another beautiful song on here, If Loving You Was Wrong, I Don't Want to Be Right. Now, in Australia, there was a a marvelous soul singer, Renee Gayer, in the 1970s, and she had the hit Here. So in Australia, people are going to know this song as a Renee Gayer song. What's your history with the song?
Luther Ingram. He was that's who I heard him singing it. And but then I also heard Mr. Jones singing this version, this song, and I liked the sass to it, and it was a little like a little naughty, a little risky, but just the vibe of the song, it just brought just made me feel good, and I wanted to do this one as well.
The Bob Seger song we've got tonight, it's just one of the great songs of all time. And, you know, I would imagine as a singer tackling a song like this, you would sort of have to tread very carefully and know that you were going to do it justice because, you know, the original version is just such a classic.
All of the songs actually was a concern that I really wanted to be honest with my approach and not try and go out of my realm and be in waters that I can't navigate. I really feel that I kept it honest and as true to myself as I could possibly deliver it. And We Got Tonight was another song that in fact, this was the first song I played for my dad when I first recorded. I came back home and we were sitting in the living room having a glass of wine. And I go, "Can I play you something?" And he, yeah, sure. What is it? Because I hadn't really gone into the fact that I was recording and everything, because he's busy with his stuff. And so anyway, I started playing it for him, and he's very, very quiet. And I'm like, now I'm like getting clammy hands and nervous and everything like that. And he leaned over and just looked at me with a slight tear in his eye, and he said, "I can't say anything wrong about it." And it just, that was the most emotional moment I had in a long time. And it still actually gives me chills. So coming from him, that was such a powerful, good job, son, you know?
Wow. And the ultimate endorsement. I'm sure he's very proud of the fact that, you know, he has had such a long and successful career, and you're setting yourself up to then basically take the baton off him and move this forward.
You know, and yeah, I mean, I've always wanted to, and as I say, it's timing. As my mum said, she always used to say, you know, son, timing is everything, and you know, this will be your time. And I know she's looking down on me now, going, "Ha ha, I told you, you're right on it." And you know, so yeah, it's a really good moment for me, and I'm so eager to express myself to everybody out there and get on the road and do what he's been doing too for his whole life.
There's a real soul thread. We talked about the sound of Philadelphia, the Kenny Rogers song on here. Now, while Kenny's known as a country singer, this was when Kenny was experimenting, and She Believes in Me is more a soul song than a country song to my ears.
Yeah.
Is that why you've chosen this particular song to be curated around these particular songs?
You know, I do feel that I gravitate to soul, and he just puts it right in its place. His rendition of this was so chilling and warming, but all of his songs are really is a love. He's a real love song singer, you know, and I just I heard it, and the producer heard me singing to it, and he said, "No, that really does lend to your voice." And I feel like I've learned a lot over the years, subconsciously, probably from watching you know, my dad and everything, but how to get the emotion out of yourself through a song. And these songs all have been easy for me to get, you know, to that point. It's not, as I say, I'm not acting in them. They really do speak to me, and that's why I feel this whole album is quite true.
There's only really 3 songs that I would classify as rock on here. We talked about Come Together, the Beatles song, Elvis Presley, That's All Right, and Steppenwolf, Born to Be Wild, who we also know in Australia here as a hit for Rose Tattoo. So both Steppenwolf and the Tats had that song as a hit here. Hopefully we'll have a third one with Bradley Dorsey.
That would be fantastic. Yeah, this was a song that I used to love from a little boy. In fact, I probably first heard this song on did you ever see the show The Fall Guy with
Was that Lee Majors?
Lee Majors.
Yeah.
Well, this was always played in parts of the episodes, and I used to just love it. And I guess I was a little bit of a wild child anyway, so Born to Be Wild kind of made an easy debut on here. It's a great song, and actually, funny, about 4 or 5 years ago, I guess, I went to the Philippines to train with Mike Stone, and I did all these videos and clips of me training and everything, and my 30 days there, and I ended up having it edited by my girlfriend, and we put the original Steppenwolf, Born to Be Wild, on that track. So we were trying to figure out how I could put my one on it, but we can't do that. But yeah, no, so that's there again. There's a song that's always been hovering around my universe, and it came together, and it's fun. And my sister had a fun idea to put on. Did you get the little video?
Yes.
Of making?
Yeah. Driving around the studio.
My sister had a few little sneaky little ideas to make it fun and different. And I guess it's a sitar that maybe you'll be hearing on that the beginning of that album song, which adds a whole different dimension to it. And it's just a great song. I mean, get your motor running, So yeah, it's another song I really enjoyed recording. And then I had to do a Bob Marley because I'm obviously a huge Bob Marley fan, and but Delbert McClinton also recorded it.
Yeah.
And
Johnny Nash also I think had a hit with Stir It Up.
Did he?
Yeah.
Yeah. So a few people have done it, and it's just a great fun song again. And I really liked hearing Delbert McClinton's version of it because it had more of a soul approach to it, and I think it's pretty fun. It's a good addition on there.
And finishing off the album with the Otis Redding, I've Got Dreams to Remember, another beautiful song.
Yeah. Well, every Otis Redding song, again, I've been a huge fan of his. So I've Got Dreams, to me, there's the title of the album, and it's one of those songs that you believe in, and you have to remember yourself that you've got dreams, and it's easy to forget when you get into adult life that that you have those dreams as a child. And yeah, I've got those dreams, and I put them down on a record now.
I can imagine you taking this album out and touring it. Like Born to Be Wild would be a great opening song. I've Got Dreams, a great closing song. You could pretty much do this album on shuffle. Yeah.
And funny you said that. I've Got Dreams is definitely going to be the closer of the set. And yeah, no, they're all just great, easy songs to play and hear. And I'm just really excited for this next year to put the band together and get out there on the road and hopefully make people happy.
Come down and revisit some of the places that your father has performed in for decades.
Right, for sure. Hopefully I get to meet you in person.
Well, if you get down here, you definitely will.
Excellent.
All right. It's been great to catch up, and people will enjoy this album. I've Got Dreams, Bradley Dorsey at Noise 11.
It's been a real pleasure. Thank you so much.